Third Reich, tutorial number 8. Allied providing economic aid to Russia. There are two ways of doing this. Lease, which is the northern route or to Murmansk, and the route through Persia. Both can only be activated once Germany and Russia are at war. For the Persian route, an allied country must spend 25 BRPs to activate it, and it's active until that country is conquered. Russia must get permission to enter Persia from the country that purchased the route. This process takes two turns. The first is the British or the Americans must provide sea escort, which takes one turn, and so those fleets are unavailable for other operations. And the second phase is it must expend a strategic redeployment from Persia to Russia itself. No more than 20 BRPs may accumulate in the Lend-Lease box during this process. Located here. And so you need one fleet for every 20 strategic redeployments. The Axis can cut the route either by occupying Tabriz and Sarab, or by occupying Grozny, Astrakhan, and Krasnovodsk. There are additional rules for supplying Russia through Turkey if Turkey is conquered or a part of it. There's a Mediterranean port in Turkey that is controlled that can be traced into Russia. The second route is the Murmansk route, which is the northern route up the coast of Norway, and which uses this convoy, Murmansk convoy chart. It's fast. It only takes one turn, but it faces Axis opposition. A maximum of 40 BRPs may be sent by this route. Each 20 BRPs must be escorted by one 9-unit fleet. Additional British or American fleets may be assigned as additional escorts, and they can be deployed anywhere in the West, whereas the other ships must be based in England or the US. The British and Americans may also deploy anti-submarine warfare assets. The Axis can deploy submarines from the strategic warfare box, but these are, if the Germans don't control Bergen in Norway, then these submarines perform at -1 BRP per submarine. The Germans may also deploy aircraft and 9-unit naval units if they control Bergen, and these are deployed from Bergen. German units must move to Norway in one turn, and in the subsequent turn they would be deployed to the Murmansk convoy box. The resolution for this process requires looking at the ratio of the forces. You total the number of Axis fleet factors and submarine factors and air factors, and you compare it to the Allied naval factors and anti-submarine warfare factors. If the Allies outnumber the German factors by 3 or more, the convoy is a success. If the ratio, however, is 1 to 3 or more in favor of the Germans, in other words, the Germans are at least 33% of the Allied force, then the die must be rolled. And if a 1 is rolled, there is a -1 BRP for every submarine and air unit that the Germans have. So the 1 indicates that the fleet, the convoy has scattered. If there's a ratio of 1 to 2 or greater, that effect occurs on a die roll 2. And again, there's a BRP loss from the submarines and air units, as well as a -10 to all the BRPs being carried by the convoy. If there's a 1 or 1 odds or better, a die roll of 1, 2, or 3 will have the same effect of -1 BRP per submarine and air, and a -20% BRP. And if the ratio is 3 to 2 or greater, a die roll of 1 to 4 will result in a -1 BRP from submarine and air, as well as a -30 BRP. As well, the 2 players would roll dice, and the highest roller could choose if there's a naval battle. The Axis would win the ties. And you then go through a normal naval battle involving ships. As well, for each air factor that's being used, there is a minus 1d6 BRPs. If a 6 is rolled in a subsequent roll, then the air factor is eliminated, and there's a +1 modifier for every 9 unit of extra escorts. Not the ones that are carrying the supplies, but the extra ships that were sent by the British and the Americans. There's a +1 modifier to that 1d6 die roll if the convoy has scattered, and a -1 for every extra 9-unit fleet that has been sent. For the anti-submarine warfare and submarine counters, you go through the normal process of elimination, and if there are submarines left over, then 3 BRPs are lost for every submarine, -4 BRPs if the convoy scattered. Now, if the Allies capture Norway, the Germans must evacuate the Murmansk back to Germany. However, if the Allies only control Bergen and not Norway, German aircraft may remain and continue to fight. The Murmansk can be cut by the Germans if they either capture or isolate both Leningrad and Vologda. In other words, they surround it with zones of control or units so it can't trace a supply line back to Moscow. In that case, the Murmansk route becomes closed.